Hey, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Never Say Die. Apologies for our little bit of a late start. I take full responsibility for being infected with a mad case of gremlins who decided to chew on all my cables and pull everything out of the wall 5 minutes before we were supposed to go on. So, yay, gremlins! So fun. But hey, we made it. We've conquered. I've beaten back the hordes of evil monsters to be here with you all tonight. And as always, I am joined by my fabulous party, Sasha, Matt, and Sean. Hi guys.
Hello, hello,
Going
hello.
on?
How's it going? Hello.
So let's jump right into it. Last week, after exploring about the city of Talazdat bit, you were led to the Black Dragon Inn, the city's probably highest end place of meeting and repost, shall we say? Um, and as you walked in, you met the proprietor, a dragonborn woman of some class and substance, Dortrix LaRue. You spoke, you had some drinks, you found out through some, shall we say, attempted witty banter with her that the Fight Club was indeed underneath the Black Dragon, and you were led down after speaking the password and making your way through the back room. You met a couple of the bouncers or the muscle that looked out for the Fight Club, and eventually were led to meet one Ramo Proximo, who is the head organizer and owner of the Fight Club, as far as you were able to ascertain. He was short-staffed, and knowing that you wanted information, he decided to make it worth his while, so that you agreed to fill in for three individuals who had gone missing and were scheduled to be on the night's bill. So you have volunteered to fill that role for them. But as you were leaving, you encountered a scene in the main room of the Black Dragon, and a dwarf was screaming for assistance from the elf that you had seen in the corner and had recognized as wearing the robes of the Cerberus Assembly. One Balin Codenden, who comes to find out is one of the miners and in charge of the Talazdat Mining Consortium, and was telling this elf about a havoc that has been unleashed in the consortium building, elemental fire running amok, begging for assistance. You volunteered to be that assistance. And Sasha, or Gwendolyn rather, was very keen on getting out without being too much the center of attention. And were led across the city to the far northwestern corner, where the consortium building was kept, near the end of town that buttresses against the face of the Ashkeeper, the mountains right there. And as you rushed in, you found mayhem, the smell of smoke and fire, the sound of fire. You rushed into a larger room, which had a very large circle engraved into the floor, with the residence of some kind of arcane power sigils that you thought. and you found what appears to be an elf, also dressed in the robes of the Cerberus Assembly, passed out, seemingly struck, and knocked unconscious. But you were able to revive him. He had only been stunned briefly, and asking your aid in dealing with this elemental that had been summoned and run amok. You and Yargaros followed him into a large common room where the elemental was in the process of burning and killing, and did battle with this elemental, and were able to, with a bit of scorch and burned flesh and a slightly shorter beard on the dwarf, were able to dispatch the elemental. At which point you followed the elf back into the summoning room, at which point he turned to you and introduced himself as Yasha Majere, a evoker for the Cerberus Assembly. And that's where we left off. That's where we pick up tonight. So switch over to the map.
And how did you pronounce his name? Because I have Usha Machare. I just want to make sure I wrote it right. All right, Usha.
Mm-hmm.
Usha. Okay. Usha Machare. Ah, where'd it go? Uh-oh, technical difficulty. There he is!
I'm back. All right.
Expletives all around.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on here, guys, so bear with me tonight. It's going to be fun and exciting all around.
Somebody fed you after midnight.
So, I tell you, I'm not exactly sure what happened here. But yeah, I didn't even buy anything in an old Chinese curio shop. Nothing. That's not. Okay, so to reset the scene, you are in a large chamber, a raised kind of platform to the right. Holds a statue. Looks to be a heavily armored dwarf. There are candles and braziers set up to provide light. But in the center of the floor, the center of the chamber, there's a large circle worked upon the floor with arcane symbols and ruins, and spaced around that are five, at the points of the pentagram and the 5-pointed star, are 5 candles spread around, glowing with a light. Ushamajire stands before you, and he says, well, I must say that thanks are in order. Your assistance was most timely.
Say that again.
Then
What
I
are you
shall.
doing?
Your assistance, Master Dwarf, was most timely.
So what in the blast were you trying to do in the first place?
Well, my job, if you must know. I was assigned to summon an earth elemental to assist the consortium in their mining efforts, in order to try to increase production, if you will.
I think you did something wrong.
Prepared the ritual, and I believe I executed it correctly, speaking the words on the scroll provided. But as things sometimes happen in the arcane arts. Perhaps the weave was a bit tangled and things did not work out quite as well. I was not prepared for a flame elemental. My wards were not in place, my resistances not ready, and it lashed out and struck me a blow before I was able to contain it. And it was able to break free of its binding circle.
Would you say it's an easy mistake to send a flame elemental instead of an earth elemental?
Well, what I would say is that the summoning of an elemental stretches my knowledge, my skills. While I should be able to accomplish this, given the scroll by my superior, I clearly was unprepared for some of the variables.
Well, the first step is admitting that, they say.
My superior will unlikely share that view. I do believe that I can put most of this to rights prior to his becoming aware of this. However,
I kind of want to look at the clan and be like, do we want to rule out a possible sabotage? He was given the scroll by someone else. Maybe this attack was planned.
Or someone could have just been in over their head. I'm just gonna level my gaze at Usha.
You feel that he's well, actually, you know what? Roll an intimidation. Let's just see how intimidating those daggers are. Personally, haven't been on the receiving end of similar type dagger stares.
Oh, me?
Not from you
You're the
personally.
one intimidating.
I was just looking at him. I would actually probably be doing an insight over an intimidation, but they're the same. So I'm rolling intimidation?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Please go. I clicked it. There it goes. Meh. No, not.
All right. He holds your gaze pretty levelly there.
Can I insight check him?
Yeah, hang on. Go ahead and roll that, but I will give you his response too. He holds your gaze fairly regularly there. Remember to call out your dice because I don't. Actually, no.
No, we're on the map. Yep.
Yeah, we're on the map.
We're on the map.
So he holds your gaze pretty levelly. And after just a moment or two, you can kind of see, the facade kind of cracks a little bit. And he goes, well, yes, perhaps there is some truth to that, though it was tactlessly put. As I mentioned, I was at the limits of my ability to control a spell of this high level. And sometimes things happen. Are you a practitioner yourself of the arts, young lady?
No, but I'm familiar. You could say I grew up around it. So I know a thing or two.
Well, it's certainly not for those to trifle at the uneducated. That is for sure.
Clem's laughing.
Perhaps there might not be. There's not a reason for us to necessarily report all of this. I would not presume to have the word of this bit of debacle get out. Perhaps there is something I might be able to offer to, shall we say, ensure your discretion.
They're not going to notice a bunch of dead miners?
What are you offering?
Well, in fairness, I did not. The miners were able to retreat and barricade the door leading from that room where we fought the elemental. They are quite safe. Alas, yes, some of the members of the righteous brand who were here and guard duty fell rather quickly.
That body doesn't tell a story.
Yeah, missing guards mean nothing to me. What do you have to offer?
Occupational hazard.
Well, follow me, please. And he steps through the door into what appears to be a small chamber that leads off of this.
For the record, I still have the bottom half of my face covered and my hood up.
Okay.
Stand right by the door.
He proceeds around and starts to go through these, thumbing through the books that are on shelves behind this large open desk. Yarga comes in, and you can kind of see that she's very interested in what's going on in this room. Oh, your insight check, by the way. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Is he
Yeah,
full
you
of
got
shit?
23.
I
No,
rolled a nat 20.
you got a sense. You really got a sense that he's trying to keep up a brave face here. But you've been around enough people who are probably going to get in a lot of trouble, impending. Even though his this stoic kind of elf kind of calmness to him, you get a sense that he is very worried about the fact that this did not go well.
Which is why he's trying to pay us off.
Yeah, and that you probably hit the nail very close to the head with what you said. So he kind of feels exposed right now.
Gwen's like smiling smugly under her mask, just enjoying this immensely.
Yarga kind of steps up and moves close to him. But roll a perception, the three of you.
Not great.
Sorry, I'm getting there.
Nice. Good job, Edric.
Dirty 20.
Damn.
Also a nasty
Alright.
20.
So Gwen's more paying attention to what Yasha's doing over there, where he's digging through these books. Yarga, you guys notice Yarga it's kind of strange. She's kind of like moved up and kind of interposed herself a little bit too close, almost too close to him. But you can then you see from behind her back, she's kind of motioning to you, and she's pointing at the desk.
Motioning to who?
Just behind her back, she's pointing at the
Oh.
desk. Pointing.
I'm gonna nudge our rogue and kind of just be like, kind of, if I notice she didn't see it, and kind of try to be like, look at Yarga, like she's trying to tell us something.
Okay, I'm gonna look at Yarga and see if I can decipher what she's trying to tell us to do. I'm gonna kind of.
Like I said, she's
Come up to
pointing
the
at the desk.
I'm gonna go to the desk and take a look and see if I can figure out what she.
That would be awesome. Yeah, roll an investigation.
Oh, come on!
Oh gosh, change the color already.
There's some books and scrolls on the desk.
Can I also check out the desk?
Yeah. Let's see.
God damn it!
Let's do this. Everyone roll initiative. We're gonna use the initiative on this.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, that's better.
I'm gonna need that initiative roll later. Why do I roll a 21 when we're not in
Yeah, right.
combat?
Get an 18
there's
on my
Yarga.
initiative. When
Yarga
don't
rocking
do
out of
anything.
5. Okay, so all right, Edric, yes. Then yes, you can. I just wanted to see this will give us a kind of a way to handle how this plays
All
out. You roll your investigation.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
it's almost
15.
20.
I know. I saw it. I was like,
On the desk, you notice two things. Right away. There is a bit of a file folder kind of looking piece that is spread out on the desk. You see something with kind of must be almost like a statue of some kind, probably a good 2 feet above, rising above the top of the desk with a cloth over it. And then to the left of that, over on this side of the desk, you see what looks to be some kind of tome of something with a scroll that is kind of like partially covered.
Crap. You said the statue is covered.
Well, it looks like, it could be a statue. You don't know what it is.
Okay.
There's something with a cloth draped over it.
I'm not very light-fingered. I grabbed the thing with the cloth.
You can
Okay.
tip me off.
Okay. Give us a hand.
I feel like I would tip you off about the scroll.
Okay.
Is that? I don't think I could lift a tome and then pull a scroll out, but I might be able to grab a statue.
Well, give a sleight of hand.
Right hand. Okay, 14.
Okay.
You might be distracted.
You go to grab the. What? Tell me exactly what you're doing.
I feel like I would just kind of try to be a little.
Are you peeking
like
underneath?
cautious?
Are you, or what do you? I mean, are you just picking it up? What are you doing?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't make sense to just snag the statue. So yeah, I kind of want to see what it is and why it's covered.
Okay.
As best I can. So yeah, I'll just
as you go to lift the piece, it actually starts the top of it starts to actually move slightly, and as you lift up, you see that there's actually nothing underneath. And lifting it up a little bit more, you see a piece of either some kind of metal or it looks like metal or stone, rock, or some kind of ore encrusted piece, and it appears to be floating with this covering of this cloth covering over it.
If I see that and I want it, I take.
It's about the size of a volleyball.
Oh, it's huge. Okay. I think I would kind of, if I have it up, I would kind of like see if I can get my party members to be like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Okay. Yeah,
Look.
with your 14 sleight of hand, yes, you could hold it up and they could see that.
okay.
All right.
And I'll
all
also
right.
say to her that there's a tome. There's a tome with a scroll. I feel like I would say to Gwen.
You're gonna say that out loud.
Like kind of just like like trying to make it sound like I'm clearing my throat. There's a scroll.
Okay.
As best I can.
That's your 6 seconds.
All right.
Clem.
Is Usha's got his back to everybody now?
He does, yes.
Is he looking through books?
He is.
I'm gonna walk up to him and say, I'm not like on top of the books. I'm just sitting next to him. And is this the source of your magic? And like try to distract him and get,
All right, roll a deception.
Exactly.
Dun dun.
Guidance.
I'm not guiding myself though.
Nice.
You can though.
Well,
I didn't cast it the
the
round
matter
before
is,
though.
he would have to. It's a verbal component.
I had to cast it before, yeah.
So he would clearly be casting a spell and be known.
Yeah, that's why I'm not doing it, yeah. But I rolled an 18. I rolled a 19,
Yeah.
I should say. So it's an 18.
Nice.
Negative
So
one.
as he's thumbing through, he's like, these tomes contain a great deal of information on many different things, magic being some of them, geology are certain things, all of which studying fall under the preview of the assembly, and he's just kind of
It's fascinating.
chatting as he's looking for something specific.
I'm trying to sound really intelligent about magic here and just asking him questions about.
And as a famous person used to say, you certainly can try.
Perfect.
All right, good. That's your 6 seconds.
Yep, that's all.
Gwendolyn.
Gonna take so there's the thing that Edric was looking at, a tome, and then a scroll that's partially covered.
Yeah, give an investigation. Because you can get that for the thing.
11.
All right. Yeah. All right. So, like you said, you see it's almost like a file open on the desk. It has actually a picture. I'm trying to remember if Roll20 works that you can see this now, or I have to do the show it to you thing for you to see it. This is what you see. But don't read
I'm
the
not
description.
Okay. I'm covering the description so I don't see it. Okay.
Go ahead and
I'm
close that
gonna
off there.
see if I
man
can,
in the chair.
Covering that too so I can see it. I guess I'll see if I can like shift it a little so I can read it. Because I don't think taking it off the desk is gonna be a good idea, because that would be obvious. But I kind of want to see if I can move it in a way that I can see what it says.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. I realize now that I could have done it this way, by the way. Yeah. But that's okay. That's okay. There you go.
Oh. Okay.
This is what you see.
Okay.
That works nicely.
I want to try and like move it a little bit so I can see what it says.
All right. Roll your sleight of hand then.
Nice. There you go.
Oh yes, that's a 28.
God damn. All right.
I'm gonna roll another nat 1 in a couple of turns, guys. Just be prepared.
So go ahead and then you can read everything with your 28. You're able to on the handout.
The
You wanna
thing
read
did
that out.
not. There it is. Oh Jesus, this is a lot.
So in general, it is a you see that it's a dossier on one Sken Zabras. Race Goliath, age 34, origin the Penumbra Range in the Kryn Dynasty, although exact location unknown. Affiliation unknown. Value. Sken Zabras is believed to have extensive knowledge of Kryn Dynasty's use of dunamis with regards to the crafting of objects of power. Zabras is reputed to have worked for years in weapons facilities, in the weapons facilities of Ikonzen Steelworks, and is reputed to have reported directly to Den Ikonzen, though this will need to be confirmed when Zabras can be put to the question. Current status. The Order of the Sable Dagger has been contracted to retrieve Zabras and deliver her to our newly constructed smelting facilities in Talistat. For obvious reasons, a more circumspect agency must be employed rather than official channels, as the secrecy of this project is paramount to the Assembly's plans for the war as well as beyond. At present, Zabras was apprehended by Dagger operatives in Zadash and is en route to Talistat, where she will be remanded to the custody of Enchanter Hualaquandi.
That's a cool fucking name.
All right. It takes you, you so deftly had moved that around that you were able to read all of that.
Okay.
Usha.
And can I just? Okay.
Yeah. So Usha turns and continues to look. Let's see if he finds what he's looking for. Because I'm old, I like percentage die. And I don't care that I do. Oh, yeah. So a 6 out of 100. You hear him say, "Okay, I'm damn well sure that I was here someplace." And as he makes his way down the line of books, he continues to dig around and look, continue to look. All right. Yarga, watching you guys all, has this look on her face that's like between amazement and credulity. Don't be moving. You don't have no movement. No. You're
I
right
didn't
up
get to
there.
move at the end of my thing. I
You
never
don't
got my
have- no.
movement.
No, because we're only doing quick ones. We're not doing full combat on this. So
I was just gonna lean against the wall back there.
no, right now you're looking at the thing. He's still got the thing up.
Oh, okay.
So Yarga steps up and puts her arm around him, trying to keep him from turning around to look at you all. Well, you have quite the collection here, as she says. I don't know why I just did that. That didn't help. See what her deception is. How's that? With her 20 deception, she very much convinces him to look and distracts him from what's going on. Now surrounded by both Yarga and Clem on either side as he looks for this book that he's looking for. Edric, you find yourself with a bit more time.
Looking at a beach. And you said, all right, so you said that was the only things on, like when I first investigated, it was just that what thing that was covered and then the dossier, right?
And a book on top of a scroll.
Top of a scroll. Okay. I guess I'm gonna try to take a look at that book, and or maybe I don't know. I'm not really like a light-handed. Maybe I'll use this 6 seconds to kind of to be able to fully let Gwen know, like, there's something under a book.
I would say you could use your 6 seconds to help her.
Okay, yeah.
By maybe picking up the book and letting her grab what's underneath.
I'm cool with that. If you're cool with it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give her a nudge and and then I'll go to lift the book.
Okay. All right, so that brings it up to Clem.
I'm gonna keep watching Usha, and I'm going to prepare an action that if I see him starting to turn around, I'm gonna knock over some books.
Okay. Cool.
So I have like my, arm out, ready to knock stuff over. And I'm a big freaking turtle, so I'll act clumsy if it happens.
All right.
Whoops.
Did I do that?
All right. All right, Gwen.
I'm going for the scroll.
All right. Give that sleight of hand.
Oh, 16.
16 though.
You're being helped, so you have an advantage.
Oh, yeah.
All right, 18.
18.
All right. Well, you are able to, with that, slide this scroll out from underneath the book. And deftly turning it around, you see. Hang on, let me send it back up because it was there and then it went away for everybody at home. So, you speak Elvish, do you not?
I do. I'm a half elf. It's one of my native languages.
You note right away that this is a missive written in Elvish, but lucky enough, I happen to have it in translated as well for you.
Oh gosh, it's really hard to see. Give me a second. It is of the utmost importance.
If you can scroll down, you don't have to read the actual scroll. It's actually in the text below.
Oh, I'm zoomed in the scroll. It's of the utmost importance. Should I read it out loud?
You've got 6 seconds. You would just be able to get through all this. Yeah. So you can wait and tell them after.
Okay, yeah.
So you can. Are you gonna read it and then put it back? You may not recall it all.
Yeah, no, I'm slipping it into my No, I'm keeping this bitch. This is going in my bag.
Alrighty. Okay. So Usha, seeing you pocket the scroll.
He saw me?
No, I'm sorry, not Usha. Pardon me.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
Yarga notices. Yarga notices you doing it. As she's got her arm around, she's looking over his shoulder back at you, and you can kind of see her eyes kind of widen a little bit as you slip it into her your piece. On the other hand, now.
There you go.
Yeah, that's better. He had a 70% chance of finding it. So. No. So he found it.
Oh, it's his thing.
Yeah. So as he finally here it is. And he turns around and lets you know.
As he turns around, I knock over a bunch of books.
Okay. So as you, all the books, he whirls around and looks at you and says, "Please, Master Torso, be careful. It's a very valuable tome."
So sorry. I'll start picking them back up.
All right. You guys all have one quick reaction.
I was just saying, if I'm still holding that book up, I would drop it when the books hit the ground so I could go.
Okay.
Do be careful, Clem.
I'd love to actually see this in real person time. All right, with his 8 perception, he is more concerned about what the books. Oh, please pick that one up there. Get that one. Do not step on it, Master Turtle, please.
I'm sorry. There's not much room in this office.
It is quite a. You are not incorrect, sir, and it is no harm done. But this is what I was looking for. This brings back a lot of memories for me, I must say. This was my apprentice spell book. And since you mentioned a passing in familiarity with the arcane arts, young lady, it came to mind as we spoke. Certainly, if you chose to pursue the arcane, this would be invaluable to you. If not, I'm sure that those of your resourcefulness would know where to fetch a fairly handsome price for it. And I would be willing to give this to an aspiring practitioner in return for certain discretion.
Gonna kind of look at my party because I'm the only one getting something out of this. So
Edric would kind of give you that nod, like, take it.
Yeah,
That's what he's
I've
offering.
I'll step up and grab the book.
Clem would say, and for my discretion.
I don't like them.
I'm sure that the value of that book split amongst you all would be very good compensation for really just not doing something.
But you said I could use it to supposedly learn some of the more arcane arts, and if I choose to do that, then my companions would have no payment for our discretion. And we couldn't promise that they'd stay quiet.
Well, that would be your choice, wouldn't it, young lady?
Is that a risk
Perhaps
you're
we-
willing to take?
Roll a intimidation then, since you're trying to break him over the coals.
Yeah.
Speaking of raking over the coals, that fire elemental wasn't exactly nothing.
Look, the fact of the matter is that my superior will know that I failed in the ability of summoning the proper elemental. I will not be able to hide that from him. I don't expect to try to deceive my superior in the assembly. However, I am hoping that you would be wise enough to take my very generous offer and not spread rumors about the city. Certainly, that would raise the ire of the rest of the assembly as well. Now, it is worth it to me to keep you, shall we say, discreet, so that we do not have to take further action in quelling those rumors. However, please be assured that the assembly is more than willing to quell any rumors and the source of them should it become necessary.
Oh, I'm well aware of the Assembly's reputation for keeping things quiet. We'll take the damn book.
We're just looking for maybe a bottle of booze, but that's fine.
Is that okay? He kind of is taken aback and
We'll take the book, though.
well, my goodness, sir, why didn't you say so? And with that, he actually goes across the opposite end, and there's a cabinet over there, which he opens up. And inside it are several different bottles and, and various... It looks like this chamber has been appropriated to be used as not only as a study in an office, but also you see a bed in there, and there's kind of some comforts, if you will, in this cabinet. He reaches in and he pulls out a kind of a dusty bottle, blows it off a little bit, and goes, "I do believe that you might enjoy this. A most marvelous point from Rexitrum." And he hands
It
you
looks-
a bottle of port.
It looks fantastic. Would you have a drink with us?
I needs to be getting to erasing and cleaning up this mess. There are several dwarves that need to be freed from
Understood.
where we barricaded them in. For their protection, of course.
Of course. Well, it's
Perhaps-
much appreciated.
Perhaps we should go rest. We have a busy night ahead of us.
It's a good idea. Thank you, Usha.
Well, again, I will greatly appreciate your continued discretion.
Just be more careful next time. I'm just gonna walk out.
That one is a bit prickly, is she not?
You don't know the half of it. His follower.
and he kind of looks down at you, at your stature, and indeed, Master Dwarf, the half of it.
Oh.
When Edric comes
I'm gonna
out,
walk out grumbling after that one.
if you want to hold him down, I'll stab him between the eyes. I
I'll kinda
take
squeeze
out
past
one of
him
my
here.
daggers.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Say sorry again about the books, and thanks for the wine.
Yarga comes out and kind of grabs you, Gwendolyn, by the elbow, and just kind of walks quickly. Come. I'm sure we have much to discuss of not here.
Indeed.
Backtracking your guys' way out, you find, as you follow the way you came in, you proceed down, and I'm just moving you.
Yeah, I'm just super zoomed in, so the screen went crazy. I was startled.
As you walk in, you see the dwarf into the main, the kind of that open chamber that you first came into. You see a dwarf, two dwarfs actually. Looks to be the one that you had seen back at the Black Dragon. Balin Coden is there looks like now he's got a fellow compatriot dwarf who's had time to actually hastily throw on, grab an axe, or a hammer rather, and a shield and a cap, though he still appears to be wearing a nightshirt, and not really, you're not sure, but it doesn't think that there's any pants on him. I think he was quickly roused and disheveled, but still looking fierce in every inch of his posture. Oh ho ho! So there you are. What news? Is my building burned down?
No, we took care of the problem. You're welcome.
Cryptic.
You may have to replace some tables and such, and a couple guards, but beyond that, seems your mind is
the flaming beastie is gone, is it?
He's been dispatched.
It didn't take out the little pasty elf, did it?
Unfortunately not.
Pity. So
I like you.
that Marjorie is not so bad. Not compared to the other one.
He fought bravely.
Did he now?
He did.
I must say that I'm a bit surprised by that.
He wouldn't have fought at all if he hadn't come around. Found him laying on the ground unconscious.
That I'm not surprised by. Well, you have my thanks, that is for certain. And I'll tell you this, if there's ever a favor I can do for ye, you have but to ask, old Balin.
What about some lodgings for a few hours? I am quite exhausted.
In the burnt building?
Anywhere, recommendations, if you know anybody that could...
That makes a lot more sense. That's indeed does. Well, you're not in a whole lot of luck right there, though, I must say. The, shall we say, accommodations in this city have not grown along with its population. Very few places, if you know, like an inn's about. There are a few boarding houses here and there. I don't know much about where you might be going, though. You can try in what we've started to call Little Hooperduke over there. But the gnomes and the smelting plants that we've set up, they're hard-working lads and lasses, I gotta say. But boy, that they have a bit of a curious nature about them once the evening hits.
They are peculiar creatures.
Now understand, I'm all for throwing back a pint or six. Good lord, those little devils. They can go all night, they can. So we've tried to keep them, shall we say, contained.
Oh, that's fair.
I would try in that area there. Most of the pubs over there, you're not going to see much in the way of boarding houses at all. I'm sorry that I can't be of much help. We stay here in the consortium building. We lodge here where we work.
Fair.
I could give you a room, but if there's only one bed, I'd be offering you my own chambers. They're small, they're cramped. The Master Dwarf here could probably enjoy the bed. Master Turtle, it would be very cozy. You might be more comfortable camping, to be honest with you.
Is there an area that's good for that where we wouldn't arouse concern?
You can certainly leave town.
And how far is this little hoopadook you're talking about?
I think we've already been there.
Oh, you passed right through it to get here.
You remember your friend, the barkeep?
Listen for the sound of industry.
Yes. Well, it looks like there's no place for all of us here. We might as well try to camp or find something elsewhere.
Agreed. Thank you for the offer and the information.
The least I could do.
I guess we would head out.
Yep. Head off to Little Hopperduke, I guess. See if we can find. I mean, we could try going back to the Black Dragon Inn because it's an inn.
It seems a little bit better.
Perhaps we can get a deal. Fighting.
Yeah.
Gotta keep that on the though.
That's why I didn't say anything. So do we want to try going over to the Black Dragon Inn first and see if we can get lodging there?
Yeah, I like that idea.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll go to the inn and see if there's any rooms there.
Maybe on the way share our information with Yarga.
All right, so you guys head out, and almost immediately you start to head into this area that has been dubbed Little Hooperduke, and you see again why. Again, there are the smell of smoke and processing of metal. The sounds of blacksmithing and industry kind of permeate the area. You see, since now you're going through more in the middle of the day, you actually can see where there are even shops, if you will. Shops is a bad word. Storefronts on some of these where actual trade for the people of Talsdad is actually happening. You not only see gnomes working in this area, but now you notice that there are quite a few Ravenite, Dragonborn laborers doing a lot of the heavy carrying. Can you what?
Do we see our friend? Shit, what was his name? Hold on. Barash?
Roll perception.
19?
You're able to do a fairly comprehensive look at each of the Ravenite that you see, but none of them are the individuals that you had met in the alleyway several days back.
Okie dokie.
However, you do note, kind of at the edge of this area, kind of on the farthest area, you see where you can almost see through, right? I'm sorry. Let me think how to explain this. As you come from the mining consortium building, okay, that's on the edge of town, the far end northwest edge, right? It goes almost right up to the mountain area, and as you pass out of the front of it, you can see there's actually mining tracks that go off beyond the building and had gone into what you assume is mining operations itself right there. Okay, so as you start to come in back more southeast into the proper of Talisdad, you find yourself without going too far into this little Hooperdoop. Many of these buildings are one story, and they're very large and long, right? Almost like warehouse or assembly floor type of these buildings, many of which those don't even have walls or have retractable walls to let the air in and the smoke out. So you're able to see right through them. So as such, you can actually see quite a ways. And you see that heading north from this area, it opens out into what is a green area beyond Townsdat itself. Townsdat is built in the mouth of a box canyon, so that there is a green space actually beyond, further into the canyon, and then a small lock where the very long, thin waterfall that you were able to see on your approach falls into this small lock at the very end of this box canyon. So as you see that, you're actually able to see through the buildings, and as you're walking past them you're actually close enough that you can, for the first time, you're getting a sense of that green pastured area back there. You think you see maybe what could be potentially grazing animals and whatnot. There's one kind of gnarled tree that's a little bit further out away from the mountains and kind of still in the proper of what would be Townsdat before, not into that pasture land right there. And it looks like there's kind of a tent structure that's been strung off of this tree in like these triangular sunshades, if you will, that have been set up into three, coming out in three different corners to almost give this circular area some possible shade. You can see there's what looks to be like a clay kiln, if you will, or a giant oven that's got a fire stoked in it. And you can see the fire going in. It's also set up in there. And as you're walking, you have to do a quick double take, because for a second you thought maybe Clem was not next to you. Because as you look over, you see what looks to be the shell of a very large turtle, kind of stoking and working at something into this kiln oven at the base
turtle.
of the
Clem!
tree.
Clem! I'm going to point out the turtle.
What?
Look, it's the other turtle that, was it Gord that told us about it?
Crane my neck out. It does appear to be a turtle.
Do you want to go say hi?
Do you think we all know each other?
I don't know, but I mean, I'm sure it's been a long time since he's seen another of his.
That was a terrible time to drink. I just almost spit it out.
I suppose I could.
I mean, you sounded interesting when he brought it up.
I was being polite. But
Go say
sure.
hi! Go!
Do you make friends with all the elves you see?
There's far more of us than there are of you, darling. That would take a dreadful amount of time.
Well, if you can't make it
Yarga,
alone, there's
For the record, I
portals
didn't make
everywhere.
friends with that pirate dwarf.
You had a bit of a kinship with him.
As much as the sea.
Miss Gwendolyn, were you perhaps going to share with us what your light elvish fingers were able to learn from the office of the Cerberus Assembly?
Perhaps, but maybe not in this company.
Which company would that be?
We're in the middle of the road, Yaga.
Let's go talk to the turtle. I'm gonna start walking over there.
Okay. As you approach, you see as I mentioned, you see a very distinct looking, impossible to miss figure of a turtle, without any question. He seems to be moving, as you're walking up, moving from this area of this kind of oven kind of thing back down to what looks to be some kind of circular wheel. And on it looks to be a slab of mud or clay or something. And as you see, he kind of starts to step on something, and rhythmically stepping on it, the wheel starts to turn. And pushing his, he picks up a tool, and you can see he starts to work, and this lump of mud or clay or whatever it is starts to kind of move and shape as he kind of works it on this spinning wheel. And he appears to be humming to himself as he's working. His back is currently to you as you approach. But as you're getting closer, you see that around this tree there has been kind of a hollowed outness to the area directly underneath these three sunshades that go in equal directions. And you can see that it looks like under one of the three, these triangles that move out from the trunk of the tree, has been set up almost like a workshop with this kind of kiln and benches and tables of various tools on them. Another section has been set up. It looks to be just like hollowed out areas with cushions and rugs on the ground, but open to the air. And the third appears to be has some kind of these enclosed cabinets, if you will, or almost like I want to say pods. To kind of give the visual real quick, but like small square enclosures,
Little cubbies.
that doors, one of which is open. You can see shelves inside of it, with a variety of looks to be some kind of ceramic plates or large bowls inside of it.
Cool. So I'll approach and I'll say, could I bother you for a black sand coffee?
And you see it's kind of a shift, and takes his foot off of the lane and kind of gives it a last shape as the wheel starts to slow. His neck kind of, you can see, elongates up and stretches out. And black sand coffee. Now there's something I haven't had in a very long time. No,
It's
sir. And
the
he
best.
turns around to you a little bit, and he goes, "That is not something I expected to see upon waking this morning. Let me tell you that." Oh, good greeting there, lad. For a lad, you seem to be.
That I am. He looks older, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you
Long
can
way
tell.
from Chelone, are
that
ya?
one of. Oh, longer every day, it seems. Yes. As are you. Although it looks to be you are new gone from our home.
You know, you get
You know,
the urge to wander, and
don't
you can't
I
fight.
do
Can't
know.
fight it. You can't fight it.
I do know. And a shield bearer nonetheless. It is of no
Yeah.
surprise then.
I kind of sheepishly hold it. Appreciated. Appreciated. You live here then?
I do. I do indeed. I give you greetings. May the ancestors guide and walk with you. I am Lee Sun, and you are welcome. What is mine is yours. And he kind of gives
Very
you
much appreciated.
it's very traditional kind of, kind of a. It's all from the head, with one hand across his chest and a long, elongated, graceful head bow.
Sure, and I am Clem. It's all my pleasure to meet you so far from home, and to offer us, um, well, your hospitality. Thank you so much. These are my friends. And a motion to. Did you guys follow me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Motion to these two. This is Gwendolyn and Edric.
Pleasure.
How do you do? What are
Did,
you working on there?
I do very well. Thank you very much for asking. A very eclectic group. I do approve.
Thank you. We like to keep interesting company.
But you ask what I was doing. I am an artisan, if you will. Yes, that is what I am. An artisan. Here, working my trade. In very high demand at this most exotic of locations, ironically. I work the earth. I turn it into various things. I heat it and make it strong, much as life does to the young, tempers them and makes them strong.
And kind of stand a little taller, whereas he says that.
How poetic. It's a
Ooh,
lovely work.
I'm no bard, lass. I'm nothing but a humble worker in ceramic.
Beautiful work.
It is beautiful. You're very, very talented, Lee Soon.
Oh, certainly not the most beauteous of artistic endeavors that I am asked and called upon to work these days. But here, let me show you some of my uh, more light-hearted work that I have done in the past. Please, if you will, take a rest pose. Sit, and he motions you over to the area with the cushions. They're kind of, set out on the ground. Clem, you're very familiar with this. This is a very traditional kind
Typical.
of style
Oh yeah.
of turtle dwelling. Um, while sometimes you'll have, it's nice to have the shade. Maybe sometimes you don't necessarily want the rain on your head. It's always enjoyable to the turtle race to be outdoors and more engage with nature. Um, because at any moment they can retreat into their own shell if they really ever needed to.
But yeah. We don't need the walls.
So yes, and you notice that very brightly colored materials. These oversized cushions are all made up of, and the intricate rugs of you recognize most certainly Edric as actually coming from the Menagerie Coast. Very very familiar and patterns of home. He's let me get you something to wet your whistles, please. Have a seat. And as he starts to walk away, he stops real quick, and he doesn't change his whole body, but his head, on that long neck, kind of goes out and wraps around a little bit to look back at you, Clem. And he goes, "You don't actually have any of the Black Sands coffee with you, do you?"
I wish I could say I did.
What about the...
Sorry to let you down.
Oh no, quite all right. But
I have some spices from home, though.
oh, most excellent. I try to lie a little bit in it as well. But
Some Fusaka spice.
oh, very nice. And he kind of walks over to that area with the cabinets. You can hear him kind of moving around, and he comes back shortly after, and he's got a tray that at first you think is some kind of bright silver. Looks to be very fine. And as it gets closer, you realize it's impossibly thin ceramic, but it has the sheen of metals and bright silver gleaming in the light as that's dappling through the gaps in these sunshade that he lives underneath. And on the top of that are 5 goblets, all of them intricately having almost like a swirl piece that goes, and possibly delicate but large, balanced on that. And he carries with him a pitcher, all of a match set. And he lays that down. He goes, "Well, I have some lovely chilled juice of the berries that grow in the local vicinity. I find it very refreshing. I trust that you will as well. Please, do not stand on ceremony. Pour yourselves as much as you like. My gift of hospitality is yours."
Much appreciated.
Thank you so much. I'll pour glasses for all of us.
Thank you, Clem.
You.
Take it. Take a drink.
Now, yeah, when we drink it, is it good or is it kind of like drinking somebody who made like a spinach shake for you? And you're kind of like, but you don't want to.
No, it's actually very fresh wild berries that have been squeezed. They're very sweet, kind of diluted with water to be a very nice, refreshing drink. Actually,
It's delicious. Is this a drink that I would be familiar with?
It's not necessarily anything other than fruit juice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's watered. It's slightly watered fruit juice.
But it's not like a berry or something that's only in like this area. It's something I probably have had growing up. Or is it more of like a regional?
Probably, yeah. It's some kind of wild berry or.
Okay.
Yeah, it's indigenous to certainly anywhere in the Marrow Valley.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we're sitting, I'm going to pull out, of course, some of the jerky that I've seasoned with some of my spices from home.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to offer him some of that. So give this a taste.
Friendship jerky.
Most excellent. Thank you. A proper little feast we have here now. The gathering of new friends.
To new
So,
friends?
young Clem, what has brought you to this most remote of locales?
That's a really good question. We were guarding a caravan when we'll say everything went shells up. And ended up here. Gwen, yeah?
Yeah, that's the long and short of it. Yes.
Wow. Caravans are often the attractors of brigands and bad men, I guess. Well, I'm glad that you have all made it safely.
Is Yargo with us also?
Yes.
I meant I never introduced Yargo. And her over here, Yargo, we're with her now, helping her out.
Greetings, Dagger. How goes your contract? Hmm.
Come on, Yargo, he's a friend. Open up.
Master Turtle, it goes slowly, and I wish we were working more diligently towards it. But your
It's true.
hospitality is appreciated, and you do me honor. I am not yet full Dagger. No doubt you will very soon. I thank you for the juice.
Have a seat, Yaga. Take a load off.
Yes, well, I must return to the barracks. I still have a report to make. Shall we say we meet again? I know that you have a prior engagement this evening. Shall we meet before? We have
you
things
coming?
to discuss, do we not?
I believe we might.
Is there anything you would like to leave with me before I go? Staring
No.
directly at you, Gwendolyn.
Nope. We can discuss it later.
Yes, we
Oh.
might have to have a few things to discuss, Mistress Gwendolyn.
Well, perhaps we can thank Master Turtle here. Maybe we go about our way. I believe we were headed to the Black Dragon Inn. We do need to rest still. Don't want to spend all day here.
Could we not rest
you-
here?
Well, I see why not. You may certainly take your ease. I have work to
Certainly
do
comfortable.
yonder, but my space you are certainly welcome to take a repose at, should you like.
It would be most appreciated.
Thank you, Lee.
Well, as you know, our customs, young Clem. It is most
Hospitality overall.
well said. You've learned your lessons well, shield bearer.
I tell you, this is like a little piece of Chillon right here in the middle of wherever we are.
Talazdan, I believe they've named this settlement of
That's it.
bizarreness.
Question.
The work is still here and in demand, though it is not the lovely artistic creations that I do love.
Well,
But
you know,
more
someone needs to bring a little bit of beauty to the
indus-
town.
Yes, well, they only have me doing industrial level work.
Well, being so close to the war front, that's unsurprising.
Yes, but smelters. Nothing but smelters. Bigger and bigger. You do know the use of a crucible, yes?
Do I?
Edric, you certainly would know what a crucible
Yes.
is used for.
Like a game or what kind of crucible are we talking here?
For melting metal?
There's a couple different types of crucibles. A ceramic or metal container in which metals or other substances may... Oh, okay. That crucible.
Like I do.
I will then meet you back here in several hours. Shall we?
Sounds fair.
Master Lee Sun? And with that, she nods and turns and walks off.
Oh, pretty soon. I know we don't have time for this now, but I know you said you make things strong. How strong would you say?
Well, it all depends upon the raw materials that you start with. There are certain techniques and certain additives that can be worked in, kneaded in, and shaped, and then tempered with high heats in the fires to harden and strengthen them. Of course, done improperly, things become so hard they can become brittle and easily broken. They still need to have a little bit of flexibility to them. Hardness for its own sake is never a pure attribute, because without any flexibility, it becomes easily shattered.
Okay, that's fair. I was just maybe one day in our travels we'll have to see if we could whip me up a new one of these, and I'll kind of knock on my leg. Because I think mine's right now is made out of wood, right?
No.
Out of bone. Bone.
It's bone. Yeah, you're sorry. It's a bone.
Bone. That I would hate
Make
to.
a nice ornamental one.
Well, certainly we could craft whatever it is that you like. However, that certainly seems to be most magnificent, and that fabulous artwork, that scrimshaw. Is that a kraken on the side, wrapped around?
Yeah, it was actually carved by Clem.
And now you want it replaced?
Well, I was thinking more of like a collaboration. Perhaps two master tools making a beautiful leg for this mighty dwarf.
Well, most awkward. I believe I need to check the firings right now, make sure that nothing is going awry in the kiln. Keeping it stoked at constant temperature is very important. Please enjoy and take your rest. I shall be just over, should you need anything. Working
Thank
the
a lot of
kiln
time
on the
on
wheel.
that.
Thank you, Master Leeson. We appreciate your hospitality.
He's clearly flustered a little bit by that awkwardness, and steps away. And he goes to.
Edric, do you need me to do more work on your leg?
No,
Is it not
Clem,
good?
Clem, I love this one. I
spent a
absolutely
lot of
love it.
Time on that.
Yes, I understand. I was just saying, it can't hurt to have a backup leg.
You described your god you worshipped. I even put it on there. I mean, I understand this. I put a lot of time into that.
Perhaps
Clem.
something like a shield or some armor to match would be more fitting.
Can I roll a persuasion to tell him how much I love it, and I just really don't want to make him cry?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's
Very
very
emotional.
appropriate at this point.
Oh, come on, dice, don't fail me now. A 7. Oh, God.
And then roll a Clem, roll a insight.
Nat 1.
You're lucky on that one.
Come on.
2. A 2.
I can't get below.
Oh, God.
But I'll deceive him and say it's fine.
Oh, can I roll insight on Clem?
Yeah, all right.
To know
Everybody
he's
roll.
heartbroken.
So, roll your deception, and you two roll your insights.
Aw.
Whoa.
Nat 20 on the
Natural
die.
20 on my deception.
Jesus.
I'm not very good at persuading him, but I also know he's lying to me.
No, you don't.
Oh, no, I don't. You're
No,
right.
you
You're right.
don't.
No,
You
you're
have
right.
no idea. You get, oh, okay. You're like, okay, whew, all right. I pulled one over
Yeah.
on him. Yeah, you
It's
think you
fine.
pulled the
It's
wool
fine.
right over his eyes. You think you smoothed it all over, and everybody's happy dory.
Oh.
Gwen, it's hard to tell if he's upset or not.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of shake my head. And... I have
Right,
been
so you guys are
holding that
able to-
spell book the whole time. I haven't done anything with it.
Okay. So you want to pull that out and look at it?
I'm gonna pull it out and kind of just look at the book itself for a minute because of who it came from.
All right. So looking at it, it's a a very beautiful book. Very well made. It's got embossed in it the actual Cerberus Assembly kind of logo in the front of it. When you open it, you see that there are two kind of sections in there. And you know enough from your upbringing because you did study magical theory and the mechanics of spellcasting as a youth because your parents forced you to. You are able to read through and decipher with your earlier education that there are in fact both cantrips and some spells, lowest level spells in here, and you find 3 of each within the book.
So, what do we want to do with this? I'm gonna close it and just kind of hold it.
I didn't mind the idea of selling it for money, but if it could be useful, maybe it's worth it to keep.
I could potentially learn these things. I recognize them to a degree. And I feel like, especially considering our last fight, I got lucky. I was useless in that fight, friends. I got very lucky. And I'm not going to be lucky.
You were fantastic with that water. You were great.
Like I said, I got lucky. If we run into things more powerful than that...
I was going to say, do I need to roll another persuasion? I saw both of you in the same conversation.
The money would be nice, but if we're going to continue traveling together, I would be more helpful with this.
Well, helpful is good. What do you think, Clem?
Helpful's good.
I'm gonna take out one of my daggers and start scratching out the symbol on the front of it. I don't know if it's like embossed or if it's something I can pop off. I don't know exactly, but I'm trying to get rid of the Cerberus Assembly symbol.
It's definitely embossed in there into the leather of the scroll book.
I want to scratch it out.
Yeah, you're able to take a little bit and work it out and deface it enough that it's indecipherable without actually damaging.
Why are you scratching that off?
I have my reasons. And can I scratch in the symbol of Senin? The one that... Player knowledge, not character knowledge. My mother's symbol. The deity that she followed. I want to scratch that into the front.
Yeah. I'll say that you are able to do that. I'm just trying to think. Roll an Arcana check for me.
Oh, come on.
You were able to cut through to work in the symbol, but you think that you might have punctured the cover of the book and perhaps done some damage to it. The book is made so that when you close it, it has a kind of a flap that seals over it, kind of protecting it from the elements. At this point, you think you may have actually ruined the waterproofing.
Ah, shit.
So the book might be now susceptible to water damage.
Okay.
but you think you've got a. I mean, to you, you recognize it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
kind of crude. You just kind of scratched out something and then kind of carved in line art in with a dagger. You're happy with it.
I'm gonna look at the most Edric. I guess we're definitely not selling it now.
Yeah, I don't think so. We did leave it
It
up
is no
there,
longer
though.
near mint.
Yeah, it's graded a 6.
Yeah, we have now gone past shelfware.
Let's just say
Alright.
I don't trust the assembly, and using this book puts a foul taste in my mouth, but at the same time, it's fitting. And I'm just going to sit back and open it and start studying it and start my 8 hours of rest.
Yeah,
Okay.
Edric's gonna find a little cozy corner. Probably try to take a little snooze.
All right.
Yeah, comes laying on his back, which is like a total showing of total relaxation.
If we're taking a long rest, can I prep? Like when we leveled up, I got access to some new spells. Am I able to prep those for this long rest?
Well, that's the point. So
Yeah, the
that,
long rest is us leveling.
I don't think everybody knows at home that you leveled up, but yes.
Oh.
The fight with the yes, you settle all
Spoilers.
in. Yes, you guys will all level up now, and you can go ahead and do those calculations. And we'll take a break here for everyone to be able to do their bathroom runs and get a drink, and we'll be back shortly while the party rests. See you in a minute. Hey, welcome back, everyone.
Oh, I don't have Syrinscape.
You all, the curtain comes up on our second act of our game here, to find a very peaceful, kind of serene sense. The noise of the ongoing industry around is sort of tapered off quite a bit now. You hear far less of the banging and the ruckus going on. What you do hear, however, is the gentle playing of a flute. And as you each kind of come back to consciousness from your long sleep, yeah?
Can I try something before Edric wakes up?
Uh-oh.
Sure.
I want to cast Mage Hand and try and remove his leg to see if it works. Just as a test.
Okay. All right. So you come awake a little bit before everybody else. Oh God, how do we do this? And you, having studied your book of spells quite a bit there prior to going to sleep, and needing a little bit less sleep from your background, we'll say that you learn to through trial and error cast the spell Mage Hand, although you kind of put your own little spin on it. So when you cast it, you know, according to the notes in the book, it should kind of a spectral kind of hand of your design should come into being. But you're a bit more on the sneaky, like to do things your own way type of. And you figure out a trick, a cadence in your voice that when you cast it, it actually is invisible. You can feel it. You have a sense of it, but your mage hand is not visible to those around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you make this cast and it works. You feel the weave start to gather as you say the last words of the incantation and snap. Feeling of the arcane energies that you've called forth snap into place as you say the last syllable of it, and now you feel that you have control of an extension of your hand, of a spectral energy hand that only you are aware of. You reach out with that and start to undo his prosthetic on his leg. Roll a sleight of hand.
Oh boy.
Do I get it? Oh, 23.
Actually, what I should have had you do is roll a sleight of hand based on intelligence. But well, I have to look that up. I don't know that is. Xanathars has some really cool things. Anyway, no. So you're 23. You with your dexterous hand that is now arcane in nature, an extension of your own. You're able to undo the straps that hold his scrimshaw bone peg leg and undo it. It's not a you can tell now the reason that he's able to move around so well. He lost his leg below the knee, so his knee's in place. There is quite a bit of a stump there, and a very clever mechanism that's holding on this scrimshawed leg that ends down in his boot. So it's very you don't unnoticeable really unless you can see that bone white carved piece because he does tie his pant leg above it. But yeah, you're able to undo it. So it is,
I'm
it is
gonna
now
nudge
off
him.
his,
I'm gonna nudge him awake with his own boot.
All right. Yeah. So you awaken, and as I was mentioning before, uh, you awaken to the sound of a gentle flute playing.
So I'm, feel like I'm kind of looking. Ah! And then I look down at my legs, see the legs. Ah!
I'm just gonna
What?
use my mage hand to kind of wave it in the air a little bit.
What's happening? And it takes out the blade. Ah! And I'm hopping on one leg. What? What the blast
Lose
is
your
going
leg?
on? Maybe I'll probably see Glenn just laughing. He's like, "Give me that!" Snatch it out of the air.
I'm gonna pat him on the head with mage hand.
You should have sold the goddamn book. I'm strapping it back on my leg.
I mean,
if
it
you
works.
if you lose it, Edric, Lee soon can make you another one.
Clem, as I told you before, I love this one. I love it.
I know, but it is replaceable.
Ooh.
I'm gonna
You're
have to
very
make it up to
soft
Clem.
inside that hard shell.
But it works. I have.
No.
So, as your shenanigans kind of commence, you look and you see that the music, that wafting kind of very gentle melody, is coming from Lee Sun, who's moved off a little bit. He's on the edge of what you would consider his little tree encampment there. He's sitting on what looks to be a shaped piece of wood that's almost like a stool but wider, and he's able to sit on it cross-legged, and he's playing a very long, it almost looks like it could be a walking staff, but it has been carved and hollowed out, and he's playing
Nice.
the flute as he looks towards the waterfall in the distance, that it can be seen as he's on the edge of the city, gazing at the oranges and purples of the sky as the sun is moving towards setting. Back behind the ash keepers, it's already dipped below. Clearly, it's already dipped below the mountains. Because the sky is now aflame with purples and bright oranges of the setting sun.
Do I recognize the song?
It seems to be an organic kind of melody, something that
Sure.
he's just kind of free-form playing.
Okay.
As you move and your little shenanigans going about, he seems to finish up, and he kind of turns slightly towards you, as much as you can without, not most flexible with this large shell, but his head and on the long neck is able to swing around and take in the rest of you. Yeah. So rested then, are we?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, very much so. Thank you.
It is a pleasure to provide hospitality to those in need.
It's nice to make a new friend's acquaintance as well.
We need to find fruit. For Turk. What time is it? Do you know what time?
It is near sunset, so between a little after 8 bells. In fact, they shall be calling quitting time soon enough. You would not have slept much longer even if you had wanted to. Have you seen the activity of these little gnomish craftsmen?
Yes, we have.
It is quite spectacular, is it not?
It's definitely a spectacle.
I do enjoy the explosions in the sky, I must admit.
It's
I would
fantastic.
never have thought of that, young Clem, back in our jungles. Would you?
Nothing I've ever seen before.
Seeing the
Maybe
sky
except for
alight with explosion and ruckus.
nothing except the glory of Pelor would light up the sky like that.
Glory to Pelor.
Speaking of home, Lee Soon, have you seen anyone selling the coconuts in this area?
Oh, no. They would
Hmm.
have to come from a very long way.
Of course.
I do love the juice of the coconut, though.
Hmm. Same. I was hoping to procure one for a friend.
I don't know that you will be successful in that here. Young Clem, I do apologize.
Oh no, it's totally fine.
I
Our
do,
paths.
however, have these. And he goes and he rummages in his little thing, and he comes back with a small satchel. And he hands it to you. I certainly have enough of these to pot with a few. For a Turk, did you say? I'm not familiar with a Turk, but
She's
I might be
lovely.
of some assistance for that. And he hands you a small sack.
Your hospitality is unparalleled, Lee.
Well, that's kind. Please go. See. And you look inside, and inside you find an assortment of about 3 or 4 each of lemons and limes. Those have come a great distance as well, but they do tend to keep a little better. Not quite as far as the beaches of Chalon, huh?
Not quite, but hey, if I find myself back there, I'll be sure to and then back here, that'll be a lot of walking. I'll be sure to bring you coconuts and coffee.
Well, I would much enjoy that. Although I believe that I may be back before you, young Chalem. My days of wandering are rapidly coming to a close, I believe.
Time to
There are
find that
far
special
more
someone.
sunsets behind me than they in front of me.
Time to settle down and have produce the young, as they say.
Oh, well, I don't know if I'm quite there yet, but certainly I would like to pass on the skills that I have gathered in my journey to those young ones newly hatched.
Of course.
I'd say, might I though? I'm almost embarrassed to ask, but do you have any more of that jerky left?
Of course. I hand him one of the big bags of it.
Oh,
Take what you'd like.
my. Thank you kindly. It is good, very good.
We actually got it here.
And look at her. Yes, it's local.
Oh, you know, sure.
A fellow by the name of Fern. And I'll tell him, like, roughly where it is in the city.
He is a marvel.
Have you
Who's
met
smoking
Fern?
of meat. I have not. I generally keep to myself. There are a few of the industrious gnomes that I've come to know who have made specifications for my work, and few of the Ravenites. Dragonites?
Ravenites.
Yes, they are. It is curious, is it not, that they are dragonborns, but they are different. It's curious to me. But yes, few of them come and share my company in the evening. We take in the sky explosions.
Well, if we come
So,
across
what's
Fern again, I'll
your-
be sure to send him your way.
Oh, most appreciative. So, do you have plans then?
Look
We
at
have an
Edric.
evening of festivities planned, yes.
Oh, that's grand, that is.
We're headed to the Black Dragon.
Ah, I have heard of it. A most infamous of reputations.
What do you know about it?
Oh, it is quite grand, is it not?
Quite.
Fantastic.
The proprietor is lovely, too. We've met her.
Hmm.
Dortrix. What's her last name? LaRue.
Dortrix LaRue. I shall remember that, should I ever find myself there. I have seen it from the outside. Lovely, if you go in for buildings of that sort.
For a building, it's quite lovely inside as well. It definitely
I'm
recommend.
Sure, that it is.
Not quite as nice as the home you built here for yourself, though.
Clam. Don't kid an old kidder. But
Hey,
your
I
heart
felt
is
more
in a good
comfortable
place.
here. I feel more comfortable
That-
here than I did inside that palace of
Yeah.
whatever you call it.
No finer compliment can be given. I thank thee again for the jerky. And he took a good handful.
Oh yeah. I'll
took
dump a
that.
little bit more out onto one of his plates.
I'm gonna take
You're-
one from the bag as it's out. Start
Yeah,
chewing.
your bag is actually starting to dwindle.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
fine.
you actually can see the bottom now.
Nice.
Oh, well, we got to make another stop at Fern before we leave.
Mm-hmm.
That's for damn
That's-
sure.
Definitely.
Well,
Yeah, is there anything else then I can do for you? I do want to settle in before the sky explosions begin.
Yeah, we should probably. Well, shouldn't Yaga be here soon? And look around, see if she's around.
yeah, we have a game to get to.
Give a perception.
11.
Yeah, she's looking around. You actually do see that Yarga is not far off. She's in just underneath the awning of one of these kind of open-walled workspaces for the processing that's going on. Sort of in the shadows, leaning against a post, and just watching you all.
I'll wave to her.
Just kind of
Hey!
cocks her head.
I wish my mage hand was visible because I would definitely wave to her with my mage hand. But
You're giving her a rude gesture with a invisible mage hand.
I mean, I could.
Cram it up there.
I don't always feel that way about her, just sometimes.
She doesn't appear to have any inclination of actually coming all the way over to you, though.
And can't attack. Okay.
Well, I feel like we all have to have a discussion.
Well, Master Layson, thank you very much for all of your hospitality. You know not what you have done for us. I'm in your debt.
The joy is in the giving.
Hopefully our paths will cross again.
Well, you certainly know where I shall be.
And I'm gonna get up and head over to Yarga.
I'll go up to him and say, I'll stop by again before we leave town. It's been a pleasure.
Okay.
I'll give him a tip of the cap. Thank you. And then head on out.
You can see as you guys are walking out, he kind of goes back to his little perch there, and sets up, and you can see he's got a little tray that he puts next to him with that pitcher and one of the goblets, and he goes back to just kind of playing and watching as the colors start to get more and more muted as the sun starts to set down deeper. Well, are we all rested then?
Yes,
Aye.
you could say that.
Good. Well, I trust that your afternoon was far more pleasant than mine.
Did things not go well?
Well, I may have some skin left on my back, but if I do, there's not much.
Well, hopefully next time you run into them, we'll have a skin instead.
A scan for your skin.
That would be wittier if I hadn't received the tongue lashing that I did. However, I do believe that you were going to share with me, some information that you've found.
I found a dossier on Skenza Brass. Don't know if that's any use to you.
Young lady, the droll commentary is becoming taxing. Please. We have a job to do. The sooner that we do it, the happier we'll all be.
Just trying to
So.
gauge what kind of information you want.
Well, yes, information about our quarry, I do believe, would be very helpful. So please, do tell, or...
I'll tell her what I saw on the dossier. Because I did not grab that.
Roll a straight intelligence check for me.
Oh, okay.
Let's see how much of it you remember.
Oh,
Oh!
dare you. Can I at least remember the name? Because the name is why I grabbed the other scroll.
Yeah. So you remember, okay, it was about Skin. She's a Goliath. And you see Yarga going, yes, I know. You see that, you remember that she had extensive knowledge of something. And you remember that it said the Kryn dynasty. All right, a 6. Jesus. It's actually so low it's hard to tell you what you
I know.
how to pare this down. You remember that she worked in some kind of weapons factory, but you can't for the life of you remember what the name of it was. And she reported to somebody, but you can't remember. You didn't recognize the name, so you can't remember that. You do recall that there was a part in there about the Sable Dagger were contracted to get her. And that they were supposed to be bringing her to a Qualaquandi. And that's about all.
That's all I can.
I mean, unless you took more notes, I'll say that if you got notes that you actually took.
I did, actually. I wrote down quite a bit, actually. Yeah, because I wrote down Dune Iconzrin. I wrote down Dunamancy. And then I started writing notes about the other letter that I have in my possession.
Okay, so you fill in the part. Dunamancy. What is? Do you know what that is?
Would I have an idea of what that is?
Do an Arcana check.
At least, like, information about it.
What's your background feature?
The
Jeez.
former Cobalt scholar.
Oh, that's right. You don't know really what Dunamis is. However, you know that it is something to do with magic, form of magic,
Yeah.
and that your father was the one who you heard that from.
I do not say anything about my dad, but I do mention that I believe it's a form of magic. I don't know much more than that.
Okay.
And it's just what I've gleaned from studies.
And
Which
honestly,
is why...
if we were physically in the same place, I would buy you a new set of dice. Like,
Roll 20 does not
Yeah.
like me, because you see this?
It
You
does
see all
not.
these? These treat me so well. These treat me really well, depending on the
Oh,
character
yeah.
and what set I use. But Roll
She
20
tiny.
does not like me.
Yes.
I do say every time you switch to my color, you roll poorly.
Do I? Oh shit! I didn't realize we were the same color. So yeah, no, I'm getting rid of that right now. Let's do white. Let's see what white happens.
Okay.
Okay, so with that information is why I grabbed this, and I bring out the scroll. Initially, I thought maybe Usha was not being honest about the scroll he used. So I saw a scroll and I saw a name, and I took it. I didn't know what else to do. And here's me being honest to you, and I open it up and show it to her. Can you read it?
Shit, I don't know. Can she? Again. You would think off the top of my head I would know that.
I can read it out loud if she can't.
Give me a second. Nope, she can read it.
Oh, she can? Okay.
Yep. So she starts to scan through it. As she starts, she kind of does a Spock eyebrow cock. You know? Fascinating. And then she continues to read through it a little bit more, and she gets to the bottom, and you can see her almost like she like a blow as she reads the name at the bottom. And you took this? Oh,
We were
gods.
running out of time.
Fair enough. Fair enough. This may go no missed. You are aware of that, yes? There's no putting it back in the genie back in the bottle. But very interesting. I'm sure that you've discussed this amongst yourselves.
Haven't had time.
Well,
The first time
I'll
I'm hearing
leave
about
you
it.
to share with them as you will. Now, I do believe that we have a rendezvous and a lead.
That
Shall
we did?
we?
Wait, before we go, did anybody see that floating rock?
What was that?
I don't know. It was something like I've never seen before. It was kind of
It
like
was quite large. It was floating.
it was the size of my head, and it was floating.
I do not know what you speak of, young
It was
master
under-
dwarf.
It was under the.
The
You
thing.
know,
Yes.
Desk.
yeah, I lifted the.
How you look, I did not see what you saw.
You're telling me you didn't see me? You were judging us the entire time.
No. She saw you look at it, but she did not see it. What did it look
yeah,
like,
it
Edric?
was like a. Should I? Do I remember? It was like, to me, it's just like a rock.
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a floating rock, unlike anything I've ever seen before.
But
What rocks can
you
float?
you have a certain racial ability, do you not?
With, oh yeah, I guess stonework. That's true. What is it? Yeah, if I make an intelligence history check related to the origin of stonework, so maybe not necessarily a rock.
No, I think it would. That's good enough.
All right.
Give me one as you
All
think
right.
back on it.
All right, I'm proficient in the history skill, and I add double my proficiency bonus to the check. All right, so let's roll the history. Okay, it's a 10, and my proficiency, so plus 4, so 14.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, because I'm
Yeah,
not.
you know, I mean, you were able to glean a couple things, right? What you saw was some kind of raw ore that still had some of the surrounding rock attached to it. So this would be very similar to, say, if it was silver out of a silver mine that you would take, it would have the rock still around the deposit, and then would then be smelted to separate the chaff from the actual ore that you were looking for.
Okay.
It clearly was a ore encrust sample, and it was clearly floating.
Yeah. All right. So it was like this.
The ore itself was very strange to you.
Yeah.
It didn't necessarily look like any metal that you were familiar with. It was a dark gray, but very flat. There was no shine to it or sheen. In fact, it almost seemed as if, it almost sucked the light in. It was so flat.
Here.
And the rock itself looked similar to stone that you have seen in the area.
Okay. Well, it was like.
Do you think that's why this assembly was getting involved in a mining?
Perhaps it was an ore I've never seen, but I can tell it's an ore, but yeah, perhaps they were trying to summon that earth elemental to help them get this substance. What kind of ore can float? It has to have some sort of
Magical property. Do you know of anything like this, Yaga?
I do not. My expertise in the arcane is more of a chemical nature.
What's your opinion on the assembly, Yaga? I know you're familiar with them.
They're a client. They pay. And it is my obligation to fulfill the warrant that they have contracted. Beyond that, I don't really concern myself with politics. For every person who hates them, there's one who loves them, just like any other body. Although you wear your opinions on your sleeve, so to speak, it's clearly that you have an issue.
It's a sore subject.
None of my concern. It's none of my concern.
Yes. Well, I'm ready to go fight to the rest of you. Got some new goodies I can't wait to try.
Well, onward adventurers. Shall we?
onward.
For the sake of brevity, we will say, you guys, as you start to make your way out from underneath the now deserted thing, You see above you, fireworks are starting to go off in the area that you're in right now. A bell, a horn, and a whistle. All these different things kind of all simultaneously have gone off in different areas, almost as if one hearing the other. And all industry seems to have immediately stopped with at this cue, and outpouring of mostly gnome, but dwarf and even ravenite start to vacate and start to head off in a direction, which Yarga leads you sort of along their path for a minute and then veers off of with the hordes of workers going for their evening festivities. You come back on a familiar road, Cobbler's Lane, that you had originally come this morning, and it's much changed. Lamplighters have been out and actually have lit lanterns that dangle from chains on high posts, giving a kind of a warm glow to the street. The older Tudor type buildings that you saw in the daylight now take on this glow and this warm glow with the lights of candles inside of them. And for a moment, you feel almost transported. You're not on the edge of the wilds in the middle of nowhere. You have a sense of, in this one small area, this one stretch, that you're in a refined part of the empire, a city of repute. Gwendolyn, you especially get a sense of nostalgia to the way that this looks, and approaching up onto the Black Dragon Inn. It is lit up not only from inside, but through some kind of artful use of lantern and reflector. Light has been cast upwards onto the structure, but not some kind of filter on it, so that blues and purples now light up the front of the dragon, the Black Dragon Inn, and the doors, the big wide doors that were closed during the day, are now open, and the sounds of music and festivities come from inside as you approach. Where's my mouse? So, shall we? Eh?
No time like the present.
All right. As you enter into the front doors of the Black Dragon Inn, you are immediately taken in by the number of patrons who are now in. Every table is full. You see much of the finer dress that you would expect to see in actually probably more affluent parts of the empire from the patrons. Up on a raised platform where earlier you had seen her kind of in daytime clothes, working out a rough song. You come into the sound of a full performance of Priscilla the Bard on a raised platform as she leads not only herself but two accompanists in lively music. There are serving people moving about everywhere as you walk in.
Just gonna take it all in.
I'll kind of walk near where the bard's playing, so she sees that I did come back and show up.
Okay.
I'm just taking some music.
as you move in, the crowd noise picks up, and you struggle to find any place to sit. Server does come up though and asks if there's anything that they can do for you.
Do we need anything before we do this? Should we go down and check in? I'm asking Clem and Adric.
I'm not
Is
paying
this
attention.
something-
I'm
I'm
listening to
not
the
sure
music.
what you mean, young lady. I just bring drinks.
I was talking to Adric.
Yeah, we can't just walk back to the. Maybe that same server's here. Who walked us back there in the 1st
We're
place?
looking for. I'm pretty sure I wrote down his name. Did we get his name?
It's the password again. Remember the password.
Sorry, I'm trying to find it.
Talk about Reginald?
No, Reginald was already past. He was inside. He was past where we were. Black Dragon Inn. Oh gosh, this page is a mess. Give me a second. I still have them. Did we give the placard back or do we still have it?
Oh, you still have it.
Bloodstone and Claw.
Fang, Claw, and Glory.
Ah.
As soon as you say those words out loud, she.
I said it quietly.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yes. Normally, well, never mind. Come this way. Come this way. Quickly.
And
You know your way. And she kind of like brings you and kind of opens the door back to the back room, into the kitchen area, if you will. And
slink in.
yeah, so you guys kind of. Yeah, and in back here now there are quite a few more cooks and servers. It's very busy and hectic here. But you do look up to see the familiar hulking form of this orc with mutton chops and very tight shirt with suspenders. And he's leaning over a pot of something, and he's got a ladle in his hand. He's looking at the ladle, and he just kind of disgusted. He kind of tosses it away, and you see him just kind of put his hands much bigger, and he kind of just scoops out, and he starts eating out of this pot as you guys walk up.
Is it Reggie?
Could it be none other? If it's not, then it's the only other orc with mutton chops and suspenders that you've ever seen.
Are you sneaking a taste, Reginald?
Well, if it isn't a little elf girl.
How are you, darling?
I'm well. I'm not sneaking anything now, love. I'm taking a bloody full mouthful. And as I said, Sally, it needs bloody more salt. Well, you're back. You didn't run away. Talk owes me a silver. She said you'd flee like little mice. She did, I tell you.
Huh. Well, she's in for quite a surprise.
He kind of like snorts up and like loogies over. You can see he was about to do it into the pot, and he sees you looking, so he kind of like leans over to the side of the thing and spits on the floor instead. Yes.
Well, I guess we're as ready as ever.
Oh, most excellent. Come now. Before you lose your nerve, eh?
Tell me about it.
Oh, you'll do fine. You will. More salt, Sally. More salt. You see a kind of an older halfling cook looking at him and throws a pan at his head. which he kind of nimbly ducks. For somebody as large as he is, surprisingly nimbly, ducks and catches as it goes past his head, and he puts it down. I'll just there you go. More salt. He leads you back down now stairs that you had proceeded down before. This time he brings you straight down and walks you all the way. As you come down through the cellar and takes you to bear with me just a second. I am once again having issues. He takes you down to the back stairs that head you down to the area with the stairs. Oh God, I said that 3 times. That that take you down to stairs leading down, and at the bottom of which you see the large hulking form of a minotaur. However, unlike before, where she seemed to be wearing nothing but a harness of leather and straps, she seems to have tried to dress it up a little bit, and it appears she's tried to place a bodice of velvet, purple velvet, over the top of all of this leather-strapped harness and armor that she's wearing, in an attempt to try to be a little bit more dressed up.
Tuck, you look absolutely lovely. I love that shade of bodice.
Oh, well. Here. And you see her flip a silver to Reggie. Oh, I didn't think you'd all be back, truth be told.
Not only are we back, we have a treat for you. And I looked at Clem, because I think Clem was the one that got the bag of fruit.
Are we giving it to her?
That's what we were getting it for. She asked us to bring her fruit.
All right. Here, have one of these. I pull one of the fruit out of the bag.
She kind of
Have you seen this? It's
it.
a lemon.
She looks at it a little funny and sniffs at it. So which one did you give her?
Lemon.
Okay.
Strong flavor there.
Mm-hmm. You see her just kind of pop the whole thing in her mouth.
Oh!
And
oh my!
as she bites down on it, it kind of like squirts juice
Oh!
everywhere, and just kind of like she kind of like chewing at it. You see her kind of like
It's a bit
face
sour.
kind of like puckers, right?
I was gonna recommend putting it on something.
I like that.
Of course she
Strong
does.
flavors are good.
And she kind of like gives you a companionly like whack on the arm, Clem. And you're not used to being like smaller than a lot of folk, but she's easily on par with you. You might have a few pounds on her, but she's like solid.
You want more?
You know, it kind of jars you sideways a little bit.
You want more?
Yeah, I would be happy to have more.
You mind if I keep one for myself? You can have the rest of the sack. I'll hand her the sack minus 1 line.
All right. Let's bring up the map. If we can.
Oh, check.
All right, so Turk kind of walks you a little around the corner now, no longer blocking it, but actually escorting you back. And she motions for you to head down the final stairs in front of her.
Thanks, Turk. Any advice, by the way?
Yes, don't die.
Sound advice. Sound advice.
Soundest of advice.
Can't complain with that.
She kind of moves a little bit out of the way and lets you guys past. And as you kind of come around the corner, you see the desk with Rommel Proximity behind it. And Turk kind of follows in behind you. And as she does, you realize now that, it could be very companionly. But it also, there's no way out now behind her, because you've got both her and Reginald now filling very effectively the stairway and any possible exit in the way that you came behind you. You see the kind of the bovine look of Turk, so she's looking at you. Very hard to read. And then you see the very disturbed big grin of Reggie with the fangs coming up and just nodding at you. You're not sure if that's really, encouraging or psychotic coming out of Reggie at this point. But Rommel stands up. Now he is resplendent in a red and black velvet, high-collared jacket that would be the height of fashion even in Rexstrom. And as he steps around, it's kind of a bit of a military cut to him. My friends, you've come back. I'm so very pleased. So tell me, are you ready? Are you ready for a bit of a scrap?
About as ready as we can be.
Well, I will tell you this. A very good house tonight. A very good house indeed.
Who are we fighting?
Oh, well, that is always the surprise, isn't it? It's a surprise card, as a matter of fact, tonight.
No, okay. I wasn't aware.
Did
I
you
shall
promote?
tell you this.
the
I
one-legged-
will allow you to make a wager. We have such a good turnout tonight that I'm feeling very generous. And I know that we already have our arrangement in place. You're doing this for information, and information is as valuable as any bit of gold. But if you'd like to wager on the outcome of your own fight, I'm sure that we would cover your bet.
He was gonna give us gold for doing this. We were getting money for this, too.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just information,
Yes,
right?
50 gold piece.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, but he's giving you the option of betting that.
All of it.
Or even you'd like.
I'll bet it all on myself.
Yarga steps up, and she drops a bag on the table. I'll take that action. And
Yep.
who might you be, young lady? Oh, just a fan of the sport. But put me down for 50 silver on these three. I do enjoy betting on an underdog. And with that, she passes on through.
Well,
If we lose, we're not going to be able to use our money anyway.
yeah, if there's one
Yep.
thing I
Well,
learned,
we don't know if
trust the crew. I put my 50 on us.
Do you remember what happened last time I tried betting? I'll bet half.
Sam?
No, I thought I already said I'm
Oh,
betting
okay.
all mine on me.
Most
Alright.
excellent. Well, so each of you wagering a 50, a 50, and a 25
I'll do the full 50. I feel like
on
Ah!
a fight. Very good. So, should you win, you will double your money. Should you concede, you forfeit. And of course, if you die, well, then you're dead.
Yeah.
Jolly good fun, is it not? Well, please come.
As I'm walking
Enter.
past him, I kind of, or if we're walking behind him, I kind of want to be like, I sure hope you promoted the one-legged dwarf fighting. We discussed this.
Oh, indeed. That is why I have been giving such great odds.
Mm.
I'm gonna put my hood up and cover my face again. Just to
I'm gonna
look
walk
the
in
part.
last.
Okay.
Blah.
It took me a minute to remember how to do that. Sorry.
The camera was like, look at me.
So I'm gonna bet all my money on the camera that it survives this.
So nice. I see how you are. I see how you are. All right, so as you enter in, you see that Yarga has already taken up a seat up front. You hear now in here, there's a fairly large turnout. There's very few seats left available. There's people standing in the back. You don't see a whole lot of what you would consider wait staff, if you understand what I'm saying. It's more definitely bottle service. You see there's been a jug of something or a bottle of something on every bit of a table. The element in the room is definitely seedier and also much more of a fighting capable, shall we say, crowd. Where upstairs people were dressed in finery and velvets and well cut pieces. While there is a spattering of that down here, where you see maybe a noble looking for a thrill, you also see just as much of a well-made armor, still wearing armor. You see a sword on many of the hips, some of which, an axe here and there.
Okay.
Well, is there any fighting quarters, or do we just... Are we up right now, or are we...
Allow me to make an introduction, then we shall call you forth. But please, you can have a moment. It'll be a few minutes while we take the last of the bets in. You may feel the urge to wander about.
I want to kind of like. Go ahead.
I go to Yarga and say, if I fall, see that my shield is delivered to the turtle we spent the afternoon with. Lee soon.
She kind of gives you a nod. And then kind of motions you a little bit like, my pleasure, strange turtle man who I'm just meeting for the first time.
I would like to size up the room, kind of look at each one and try and just size them up and figure out the odds, I guess.
Of fighting the guys
Check
in
out
the
my
room?
competition. Yeah. Size up the
Um,
potential competition. I don't know how this works, so.
yeah, so give a perception.
Don't fuck me.
Hello.
Okay.
It's not a brothel. That's
Talking
upstairs.
about the dice, because the dice have been assholes to me all night.
I'm sorry. I can't see that.
It was a 19.
Thank you. No, you get a good sense. So looking around the room, you see a wide mix of not only dress styles and whatnot, but also several different races that aren't necessarily like commonplace in the Empire. You see a few tabaxi in the room. You see what looks to be almost bird-like person towards
Or
the back.
Eric Roca.
And as you look, you realize that underneath the hood, there's probably 2 or 3 individuals in that area that look to have almost beaks. You see a few races that you're more familiar with. You see other half-elves. You see maybe even a half-orc or 2 in the room.
Okay.
As far as fighting capabilities, several of them look certainly to know their way about their weapons, the way that they're moving, and the way that they're sitting. You can tell that they have, purposely placed themselves so that they can instantly draw and be ready should any kind of ruckus, shall we say, present itself.
Okay. There's no, like, large hulking figures anywhere.
No, nobody that's, larger than, any of you.
Okay, I'm just gonna lean against the wall and just...
Certainly not an ogre or anything like that, if that's what you're...
Or like a Goliath.
Oh, okay. No, specifically no.
Yeah, I'm looking for a Goliath.
Specifically, if you're looking for scan, then you should have said so.
Well, it was in my scanning and trying to size up everyone. I'm also trying to keep an eye out for scan, because that's our goal.
No, you size up the room, you look around, you don't see anyone necessarily who matches that description. What you do see, because you rolled high enough, you do mark that there is one exit to the back of the room, and that while there's not the type of formal servers that you've seen upstairs, there are clearly staff that have come in and out of that door just while you're watching.
Okay.
And then above, you see that there are 2 benches, and beyond which, a raised kind of dais. Even from here, you can see the old bloodstains that are upon it. And you can... The smell in the room, although there are fragrant herbs clearly have been burnt in here, it's impossible to fully disguise the smell of old sweat and old dried blood that come from that end of the chamber.
Where was that door again? I missed the indication.
It's at the top.
Yanda.
Okay, thank you.
Rommel is currently moving about. and engaging in various customers.
Kind of want to see what's back here. If I see this doorway, can I not? Is this door closed here?
It's closed, but you've seen it open as employees or
Okay.
individuals have come in and out carrying bottles and whatnot and drop them on various tables.
To be fair, I don't belong there. All right, just gonna hang out.
Within a few minutes, you hear Rommel step up and, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another night of the Fight Club at the pits underneath the Black Dragon Inn. Greatest fight club this side of Zadash. I have a rare treat for you tonight. We have 3 challengers who shall step forward and face the perils that we throw before them. Many of you have bet on the adventurers that we will call forth, but allow me to introduce them. Gwendolyn Kerr, marksman, half-elf, she-devil extraordinaire, come forward. And from the far, deep jungles of the Menagerie Coast, a rare sight, one of the great turtle masters, wielding strength and bearing the bones of his ancestors. I give you Clem of the Turtle. And finally,
Smiling.
last but certainly not least, I give you Edric Battlehammer. Though losing his leg to a mighty beast of the ocean depths, he now wears its bones. And he does battle with shield and sword. I give you, ladies and gentlemen, Edric Battlehammer.
As I walk past this table, I want to look at. I want to be waving, coming up, little showman, but I want to also look at Yarga and be like, and I keep going.
All right.
I'm gonna have my daggers out and I'm just spinning them in my hands right now.
Okay.
And then I'll sheath them.
All right. Ooh, roll 20. Stop doing this to me right now. This is such a bad time to be doing that. Okay. All right. So he calls you up and signals for you to come up to the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, all bets should now be placed. This is a bout to the death or to yield. But, as we know, sometimes it's harder to yield than others. Now fight! And as he says so, he steps backwards and waves his hand. And as he waves his hand, a glowing sputtering of these 2 poles at either end of the opening leading up to the dais start to crackle and snap, and a field of arcane energy lances out from both of them, forming a wall of force between the 2 of purple energy, separating now this platform from the spectators who reside at the tables below. At the same time, you hear a crack, a shifting and a grating noise as a latch or something has been released. And an opening of a metal grate it appears. And you see stalking out, coming from around the corner,
Christ.
these large panther black beasts with large tusks coming up out of their mouths as they slowly approach.
Oh, it's
Their
kind of cute.
large, overlarge eyes
Little kitty.
peering over at you as you... And two of them bound out at you. And that's where we'll end it for tonight.
Do it!
It's gotten a little late, so...
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Well...
Oof. This is gonna be fun. Oof.
Well, not bad, everyone. I almost left it without you guys knowing.
I was expecting that, to be completely honest. I was just
know.
like, we're not gonna find out what it is. We're not gonna
I
find
know,
out what it is.
I should have made it, I should have left it as a bit of a cliffhanger, and I'm realizing now, but it's alright. It's
It
alright.
is all good.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Special shout outs again to Syrinscape for providing our sound effects and music. Special shout out to CJ, my dear friend who helped not only with our me to come up with the story that we're playing here, but a lot of the artwork that you see. She's fantastic and has provided a lot of that. Shout out to our friend Erica, who is over in Japan, who catches us every week and is a big supporter. So a little shout out to her as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Anything you guys want? Any announcements you guys have or plugs you want to do? Go ahead. Do the thing.
I have an Etsy store where I make dice boxes. If you guys want to check that out.
Yeah. We'll
For those of
provide
you
some
who are
links.
still able to roll real dice, it's Wild Thief Fabrications on Etsy. Yeah.
Wild Thief?
Wild Thief. Yeah. I will. If you have TikTok, I have it in my link tree on my TikTok.
Just go to your Twitter.
Yeah, I'll post it on my Twitter. I haven't actually done that yet. Because I just opened it last week. So, yeah, but I make custom dice boxes. So if you're interested, go check it out.
Do the thing. Cool.
If you my Instagram is Matt SEG, and if you know what these things are about to fight are, go ahead and send me some tips. I'd really appreciate that.
Oh man.
Here, how about
My link
Okay.
tree.
I'm kidding.
My link tree is on my Twitter. So if you go to the handle below at Sapphire Days, you can click the link tree link, and it'll take you. It's the first link.
I found I dropped it in chat.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
The power of Google.
Thank you
Wear your
all again,
masks.
Everyone who's stuck around with us. Again, sorry for the late start and going a little bit late because of it. But yeah, let's see what happens.
Yes.
Massive cliffhanger. So,
Dun, dun.
but hey, everyone, love you all, and
Yes.
we'll see you next week.
Stay safe.
Hi, guys.
Bye.
Night,
Wear your
everyone.
masks.